When you've got a website, one of the most basic things you need to check is whether it's up or down, whether users can actually use it or not. So in this video, I'm going to show you how to do exactly that using the OpenTelemetry collector. Let's get straight to it. So to do this, we are going to use a component called the HTTP check receiver. As you can see, it's already in the contrib and the Kubernetes distributions of the OpenTelemetry collector. The contrib distribution, by the way, is fantastic for playing around and testing things in demos. I would not recommend you use it in production. It's just got too much stuff in it. It's too heavy. What I would recommend is that you build your own custom collector. If you don't know how, I promise it's not that difficult. I'm going to link above to a video where I walk through exactly how to build your own custom collector. Or if you're using a vendor, of course, who offers a distribution, probably use theirs because you'll get official support. Anyway, today we're going to use the contrib distribution. I'm also going to use an observability system backend called OpenObserve. Again, if you're using something different, the instructions will be slightly different, but I'll point out where they are slightly different. I'm going to use OpenObserve. It requires a username and password to be set while it starts. So I'm going to start my backend system up, and you can see there it's starting to run on port 5080. Let's just make sure that our observability system has started. Perfect, no data ingested. Find out how to ingest data. Go ahead and click there and go to custom and then go to OTel collector and copy this piece of text here, which is our basically API token. Okay. Now we're going to start the collector. Before we do so, set an environment variable called OpenObserveKey. It's not magic. I'll show you where that's coming from in a moment. And start up the collector. Again, both OpenObserve notice and the collector binary are in the same folder. So I've got everything locally. If you don't and you need to download things, have a look at the video description. I'll put a link to a repo with the full text of all of this walkthrough and where you get all of these binaries. So let's start up the collector with our API token in a new terminal window. And if all goes well, yeah, you should start seeing debug output in the terminal. So let's have a look at the collector YAML file because that's where the magic happens. What we've got is a receiver, an HTTP check receiver, no surprise there. And we're saying, okay, whatever endpoints you're going to hit, go and hit them every 10 seconds. Now again, in production, that's way too heavy. Probably every minute or every 5 minutes would be more appropriate. But in this case, we want data quickly. Which endpoints am I going to hit? How am I going to hit them? That's defined in the targets block. So here I'm saying, every 10 seconds, please go to example.com, which is a real website, with a GET request. Go to agardner.net, my website, with a GET request. That's, again, a real website. And then hit two other websites, example AAAAA.com and BBBBB.com, which, of course, are fake and they don't exist. So what we're expecting in the observability backend is that two of those websites are up, two of them are down. Then where are we going to send the data? Because that's just getting the data to the collector. Then we export it to the debug, which is what you're seeing in the console window. That's, again, don't run that in production. That's just for us. And then send it to OpenObserve. And this is why I got you to set the API token, because we're looking for that environment variable when we send the data out to OpenObserve. Finally, we plumb it all together into a pipeline. Without the pipeline, none of the above would work. They're just the components. This is where we really define what's happening, and we're saying, okay, receive some data via the HTTP check and send it to both debug and OpenObserve. So now if we jump into OpenObserve and go to home, we'll see some streams. That's great. That just means we're getting some data in. Let's go to metrics and go to the line graph, and I'm going to set my query to auto. And when I set it to auto, I get some X, Y, and breakdown things up the top here, which is exactly what I want. So along the X-axis, I want my timestamp. So I'm going to click +X. Then up the Y, I want my value, up the Y, and to split, so I want a line per URL, so I'm going to split by the HTTP URL. So that's, they call it breakdown, I would call it split, but click plus B. Now you'll notice I've done this with the wrong stream of metrics. I've done it with the HTTP check duration. That's how long the receiver takes to go and pull that page. That's useful information, and you get that metric as well for free, but in our case we just want to check whether it's up or down. So let's go ahead and change this to status, and the final change I'm going to make, I don't want to count the number of times that we went to example.com or agardener.net. I just want the value, the maximum value or the minimum value. And I'm going to be generous, I'm going to be optimistic and say, what's the maximum? So I'm going to set my aggregation to max and then run the query. And what I see now, if I hover over, is that agardener.net is a 1, which basically means true, which is online. Example.com, 1, true, online, and the fake websites are 0. And that's it. There you go. There's your data. So now, depending on your backend, you can arrange to alert on these values. So if something drops from a 1 to a 0 and stays there, for however long you decide, you probably want to alert on that. And that's it. That's as simple as it gets to monitor your web pages. So I hope you've enjoyed this quick little tip using the OpenTelemetry collector to monitor your website and your endpoints. I'll see you again very soon. Bye.